Today I want to show you how I made this backyard decorative bridge. It's a pretty simple design, and I was able to use scrap 2x12 redwood from my pergola to be the main supports of the bridge. And then I used 1x6 redwood fence boards for the rest. I left everything unfinished so the wood would patina together. Stick around until the end of the video to see how it looks a year later. Alright, here I'm cutting a curve of the bridge. I marked the center of the two pieces I'm going to use for the supports, and then I aligned my T-square in the center of that and drilled a screw in the bottom to anchor it. I then picked a number that reached both sides of the board and drew an arc on it. I'll do the same thing 8 inches down for the bottom curve of the support. Then I switched to the top boards and I drew the arc at the same points for the second support. Once I had the lines drawn, I took them over to the bandsaw. But don't worry if you don't have access to one. This could easily be done with a jigsaw as well. Take your time here and try to get the lines as clean as possible. If you rush with the jigsaw, your blade may not be perpendicular to the board that you're cutting, as in one side of the board will be shorter or longer than the other. As you can see here, even with the bandsaw, my lines are not perfect. To fix this, I clamped them together and I ran them both through the bandsaw one more time to trim the high spots. This is definitely challenging to do by myself, so if you have a second set of hands, this is definitely the time to employ them. That's really tricky to cut a little bit, then unclamp the boards, cut a little bit more, reclamp, and undo the next clamp, etc. Once you're happy with your supports, it's time to start laying the boards on top. I used a piece of scrap to keep the first board from touching the ground. This allows airflow to go underneath, which will keep the edge of that board dry and extend the life of the boards. I cut the 1x6 fence boards into 2-foot sections, but you can make them as wide or as thin as you'd like. Just remember, if you go much wider, you may need a middle support. Lastly, make sure your boards are straight and even. Pre-drill, countersink your holes, and drive in some wood screws. So once more, here are the glamour shots on the day that I built it.
Okay, here it is a year and a half later. Please don't mind my yard. We've had a lot of rain in California lately, and I've found some flooding, so I made a nice little trench to get out of the backyard. And my son thought it would be great to use this bridge to walk over the water. So, as you can see, you can't really tell that the one is cedar and one is redwood. They both patinaed very well together. And yeah, it's held up. It's got a lot of traffic. We used it for Christmas display, and the kids just absolutely love climbing on this thing, walking over it. I wish I had more of a decorative use for it, but the kids enjoy it too much to really leave it in one spot for too long. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.